This is RJ Bates's King Closer formula. The entire 5-step process that he uses to close thousands of real estate wholesale deals. And today, y'all, I'm going to go through the entire formula with you. Reveal all of the secrets. But not just that, I'm going to give you my honest review and tell you if I think RJ Bates is overrated and his King Closer formula is overrated. Well, let me answer that first part of the question. Who the heck is RJ Bates? RJ Bates is known as the best real estate wholesaling closer. He is amazing at closing leads. He's especially known for closing his PPL as well as his PPC leads, his inbound leads that come to him. And as someone that dabbles with PPL wholesaling, right? I cold call PPL leads every single week on my live streams. I'm curious to know if he's overrated and if his formula actually works. Well, the first part of that question is he's not overrated. The guy is legit. I've never met him, so this is going to be a completely transparent, honest, non-biased review. Never met the guy, but from all my research, he's legit. But is his wholesaling closing formula legit? Well, guys, let's walk through it. Step 1, you want to confirm if the person is selling the house and if you're talking to the right person. Max, what are we doing? This sounds like every other wholesaling formula and script that I've read. Wait, he is about to flip the entire process on its head. It starts out like every other one, guys. You get on a phone, whether it's an inbound lead, outbound lead, whatever. It's like, hey, hello, is this John? John being the seller. John, I was reaching out about 123 Main Street. Are you still looking to sell that property? John's gonna hopefully say yes. And if he says yes, you're on to the next step. If he says no, well, then there's nothing there, right? So everyone starts the same. This is where it gets interesting. So before I jump into this, I'm going to give you the quick answer before we dive through all of this. This script is not overrated. This formula is not overrated. And the one word I would use to describe it is efficient. I have spent a lot of hours with this the past couple days. It's amazing, and I can't wait to share it with you. So how do I usually go about a conversation? So let's say, hey, I'm on the phone. I call a PPL lead. So I buy a PPL lead from iSpeed the Lead. And if you want really cheap PPL leads, the link will be in the description down below. So I get a lead, right? And I'm like, hey, is this John? My name is Maximilian Deere. I'm a real estate investor. I was calling about your property on 123 Main Street. Are you still open to selling it? Say whatever you want, guys. Just be yourself on your introduction. And then John's going to say, yes. Now, usually what I do, I start to build rapport. I hate when wholesalers, I get calls from VAs all the time. They start saying, okay, Max, what year is the HVAC? What the hell, man? Well, how did the conversation go to the condition of the property? So what I usually do is I'm really good at building rapport with people. So I'll be like, oh, that's awesome, John. I'll look at Street View. I'll see that John has pretty plants. I've done this before. I'm like, John, you have incredible plants in your front yard. Can you, tell me more about that? And John loves plants. So he starts talking about that. Or I say, John, such a great house. Why are you moving out of the area? John says, and this has happened, John says, I just want to move out so I can take pictures of the stars. I say, John, I'm a camera guy, John. Look at my camera right here. John, tell me, what kind of camera do you have? That's how I usually go around my PPL. I just build rapport. But, guys, RJ, he says, Max, you're dumb. Because what you should be doing is asking for the price. Literally, the conversation goes like this for RJ. Hey, John. Is this John? Yeah. John, are you still, looking to sell your property at 123 Main Street? Yeah. Well, awesome, John. How much did you want for it? Dude, that's crazy. He just says, cool, John, how much you want for it? Guys, remember, you are a buyer. When you go to, a car dealership, you go to the car dealership, you say, hey, is this car for sale? The guy will say, yes. Then what's your next question? What's the, what year was the AC serviced? No, you're going to say, cool, how much? Right? Because you're not scared. And more so, you're not I shouldn't say that word. You're not a wimp, right? You're not acting like a wimp. You know, you are a buyer. You are in a position of power. Stop putting yourself as the servant to the seller. You're not the servant to the seller. You're just say, hey, seller, how much you want for the house? And that's what RJ's doing here. He's doing a few different things I want to note. He is putting himself in a dominant position where he's nobody's, right? And also, he's just making this a buyer-seller relationship where he's the buyer and be like, cool, how much you want for it? But guys, it's efficient. No longer are you going to be talking to sellers for 30 minutes and then they say, yeah, I want $500,000 for the house. And you're like, oh, shoot, I need to be at $300,000. So immediately you say, you know, hey, how much you want for the house? Now they're going to say $200,000. Or they're going to say, I don't know. What if they say, I don't know? Or what if they say, I get this a lot. You tell me. I get that a lot. You tell me. So then what RJ would say, this is crazy, guys. He would just say, you know, hey, I heard you wanted to sell your house. You filled out a form on my website. So how much you want for it? The guy will then say, so he'll give you a number, or they'll be like, again, you tell me, I don't know. And RJ will be like, are you actually trying to sell the house, or are you just looking to see how much it's worth? He's putting himself in a position of power. And if these people are just not really interested in selling, they're just trying to see what their house is worth, well, then he's not interested in doing business with them. He's like, cool, I'm not your right, person. Go call a realtor. Bye. He hangs up. He moves on to the next lead. Guys, he'll spend $200, $300, $400 on a lead. Next lead. It's efficient. You establish the price. You establish a position of power from the bat. You make the seller give you a price. And if the seller's not ready to give you a price, you say, hey, you know what? That's totally fine. I understand, right? Maybe I called you out of the blue. Maybe you weren't expecting my call. I'm going to call back here in a few hours. Or you know what? You call me back when you know how much you want for the house. They're going to be like, holy, what did he just say? How about 150? They're just going to say a number. And now that is your anchor. So you guys may know, let me pull up his name. You guys may know. There's this guy named Zach Ginn. You may know him, right? From Flip with Rick.
Why are kids?
That guy.
Especially.
That scared me. Well, there's some beef going on between Zach Ginn and RJ Bates. And you know what? If you want to see a video on that and who I think is right and really walk through their two different approaches to closing, happy to make a video on that. Leave a message in the description down below. But guys, really where I'm getting at is RJ, he just wants to know the price off the bat. And I love this approach. So now he's not anchoring based off of just lowballing them. He's not saying, hey, I'll give you 80. He's not going on Zillow, taking 65 or 70% of the Zestimate and starting there. He's using the seller's price as the anchor. Really intelligent. Let's jump into step number 3. Now, step number 3 is all about the motivation, but who can explain it better than me? Well, probably, I don't know, this guy named RJ. RJ probably can, right? RJ could. Let's listen to RJ here.
The two most important factors, price and motivation. So right out of the gates, we want to understand, what is your price? Okay? Because quite frankly, there's no point in understanding any other factors if they're not willing to sell the property. So we always need to know, do you want to sell? Yes. Okay, boom, checked. 20% of the way done. Next, how much do you want for it? Price, boom, 40% of the way home. What's the next most important thing? Motivation. How do we find out motivation? Okay? Well, we could just come out and say, oh, what's got you motivated to sell this property? What's got you looking to sell? What I like to do is this is where we move to step 3, open-ended questions to discover their motivation. The open-ended question that I like to use, and this has actually changed since October. We've actually tweaked it a little bit. Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. Now you could say that.
Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. That is what I want to talk about here. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on. So guys, like RJ said, we did the first 20% of work. Hey, do you want to sell your house? Yes. Cool. The next 20% to get the 40%, we said, great. How much you want for it? Now, if they gave us a price that's at all reasonable, we're in the money. Right, now we're on to the next question. Now you're probably running, Max, what do I know if it's a reasonable price? I'll get to that here in a second, guys. Then it just says, cool, let's ask an open-ended question. And the open-ended question he says, which I think is crazy, but I really like it, is tell me a little bit about what you got going on. What the heck does that even mean? Literally, it's not supposed to really mean anything. It's supposed to be so open-ended and so convoluted and so weird that the person just immediately jumps to the most important, most stressful thing on their mind. I actually sold 4 wholesale deals today, and each one of those deals that I got, guys, they came from a motivated seller. 2 of them came from PPL leads. We made tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars today, but it was because we were able to uncover the motivation and provide a solution. One of the sellers, she just didn't want people in her house. She wanted to sell it quickly without having walkthroughs, without listing on MLS and have people walk through her house. So that was her motivation. Another one, his wife passed away, and the house was just bringing bad memories. So what you need to do is ask an open-ended question to help uncover that motivation. And RJ's question is so interesting. It's just, tell me a little bit about what you got going on. It means nothing. It's just going to immediately allow the seller to just start talking about what's on their mind, why they're selling. So you ask that question, then you make sure to follow up with more open-ended questions. Don't immediately change the subject. Don't be like, oh my God, your wife passed away in the house. That's awful. What year's the HVAC? I swear, guys, if you do that, no, you just keep talking about the pain. And I know you might be thinking, Max, that's so mean. It's really not, because that's why they're selling, and you're trying to provide a solution. And the more you can talk about the pain, the more you can actually get to understand them. A house I bought, guys, I got a really great deal on a discounted house out in Fort Worth. I provided the seller with a solution. What was her problem? She lived in a house her whole life. She needed to move, and she was a collector of items. I'll be nice. And no one was helping her with her move. So I offered her full price, which was a great deal. I said, hey, I'm going to give you an extra $5,000 to help you with your move. I'll do everything. I'll coordinate the shippers. I'll coordinate the car movers. I will just do everything for you. And she was so happy. And how did I figure that out? I immediately just started talking to her. And I started talking to her. I kept asking open-ended questions. I was like, hey, I see you have a lot of things. Like, what's your plan with that? He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that. I'm like, is the idea of moving causing you a lot of stress? Open-ended questions. I'm just being a nice, genuine person. So that's the key there, guys. We discover the motivation. Now, this is where I love this. So while you're uncovering the motivation, guys, now you have a deal on the line, right? The seller told you the price, and you should have a rough idea if it's a good price or not. But right now, while the seller's talking, guys, you're gonna want to start to comp the property. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this live so that I can have a conversation with y'all and comp at the same time to show you how you can juggle this task. You'll get good at it the more you do it. Is I'm going to go into my free wholesaling Discord where Ryan literally, that's actually the right comment. Ryan got 2 deals in one day today, all from PPL. So I love this guy. This is a free community, guys. Absolutely join. The link is going to be, pinned. And guys, I got here's 30,000 free skip trace numbers in Dallas, Fort Worth. Like, I have so many amazing things in this Discord, but one thing you can do is send me leads, and people send me leads. So I'm going to open up a lead. We'll open up this one, and this is an on-market property. I don't want to open up any off-market properties and give away people's leads on video. So we're going to take this property. We're going to put it into Zillow, and let's say seller called about this property and they wanted $225. I would have immediately in the beginning of the video, beginning of the call, looked at it, said, oh, South Dallas, it's a 2-1, 800 square feet. I need this under 100K. How do I know that? Well, I've been wholesaling long enough. And I would just know that. And if they wanted 225, I'd be like, absolutely not. We're just nowhere in the same realm of the world. But let's say they said, hey, I want 120. I'd be like, we may have something here, right? Depends on what street it is in South Dallas. Depends on the condition of property. At least we're close. That's how I immediately power comp. Max, I don't know how to do that. I'm new to wholesaling. one quick thing you can do is sort of check this estimate. And if they want a price near this estimate, you usually want to run. But now let's actually comp this property. So what you're going to do is I'm going to plug it into Propelio, which is my favorite comping software. You can also use your lead gen software like Deal Machine, Batch Leads, X Leads, Privy, all those Propelio, PropStream, all those comping softwares. Deal Machine is my ultimate favorite lead gen software. I'm just going to use Propelio to comp. And we're going to go and check out this property. ARV on these houses, guys, in South Dallas, this small, usually under 200K. So I'm going to go and look for comps. And let's see what we find. This one sold for 155. Very similar to our house. Well, that really hurts value. So that's just a quick power comp. Try to find a few comps, look around. This one, too big of a house. If you guys want to learn to comp, I have a lot of videos on how to comp. This is not a comping video. But yeah, we're going to try to find a good comp while we're on the phone with the seller. So you're going to be able, and you're going to have to learn how to hold a conversation with a seller while you're comping. Here's one that sold for 245, but it has an extra bedroom and an extra bathroom. I'm really thinking ARV is probably like, I think this is way too low. I think the property needed work. I'm probably thinking closer to like 175. So I would quickly go, do 175 times 0.7. House probably needs, I would say, maybe 40K of work. So I'm about $80,000. So now that you have a price range for the house, you could then, know sort of where they want to offer. And if they originally wanted 120, then you're at 80. Guys, what do? The seller is super motivated, let's say, but you're off on price. That's going to be your most common situation. There's actually 4 situations you'll come across. And RJ buckets these into 4 different categories. And if you want to learn about the 4 buckets, tell me and I'll make a new video on the 4 buckets. But this is going to be a really common situation you're going to come across. And each bucket you're going to do something different on. And this one, guys, you're going to have to negotiate. If it's not a good deal, guys, and you guys are way off, it's okay. Like he says, embrace no. Say no. It's okay. Walk away. Don't waste your time. Your time is your most valuable tool. But let's say you need to negotiate. Here's some good things you could say. You say, hey, so how did you come up with the price of $120,000? See what they say. Then, if you guys really need to get into negotiating, guys, you could just walk them through the numbers. Be like, hey, you know what? I'll be completely honest with you. I do this all the time on my lives. I'm gonna be like, hey, and if I spent, $50,000 and I made your house HGTV beautiful, I spent $50,000 repairing it, I think it would be worth $175. The seller may contest the $175. They may contest the $50,000 in repairs. They may contest that, and then you need to be there to defend it. Show them the comps. Or walk them through why rehab is going to be $50,000, why foundation is 10, why plumbing to turn it from cast iron to PVC is 15, why the roof is going to be 7,500. Walk them through, defend it. If you guys can't do that yet, that's okay. It comes with experience. Defend your rehab, defend your ARV, and just say, hey, I'm going to do all this work. It's going to take me probably 4-5 months. Or if it's not you, don't lie to them. Say your partner, the person who's buying this deal. And for 5 months of work, I need to make a modest profit. I'm going to have to cover closing costs. I'm going to cover all the closing costs. I'm going to cover all the agent fees, right? I'm covering everything on this deal. After I sell for 175, I'm probably going to, walk away with closer to maybe 150, 155, let's say. And then I have 50K in repairs. I'm close to 100K now. And that's after 4 or 5 months of work. I just want to make a modest profit. So yeah, I'm looking to make $20,000 on this deal. Is that too much, you think? They're probably going to be like, no. If they say yes, well, then just be like, what about 90? That's how you start to negotiate, everybody. Defend your numbers. Now, what I absolutely love is what RJ says. He has this special word he always uses. What is the best price you can do for me? So after, guys, where you should be now is you should have already built a good relationship with a seller. You should understand their pain, know their motivation, have built a relationship with them. You have shown yourself as a professional. You have shown that you know your numbers. You have already comped the deal. You can defend your numbers. You've walked them through everything. And now you say, hey, what is the best price you can do for me? Okay, don't negotiate yet. Say, what's the best price you can do for me? So, hey, I'm at 80. You're at 120. I've explained to you why I need to be, where I need to be. What is the best price you can do for me? You will be amazed at the results. At least that's what RJ says. I need to try it. Guys, that is the closer's formula. So what do you do now, guys? This is really key. If the seller says, hey, you know what? I'm at 120, you're at 80. What about 100? You come back, you guys can agree on 90. You think you can wholesale this deal and sell it for 100, which I think I could have sold that South Dallas deal for 100 if I got under contract at 90. That's probably where I want to be. Now you immediately have your DocuSign open, you have your 2-page contract open, or you have your check contract partially filled out, and you say, seller, if I can do 90, will you sign right now? Are you available to sign right now? I want to close this deal. I can get you paid in 10 days. Are you available to sign right now? Guys, that's what you want to do. You want them to sign on the spot. If you want to learn a little bit more about like how you go about that final getting them signed, let me know. I'm happy to make some more detailed video on that. But hey, it's 12:30 at night. I'm absolutely exhausted. So I'm going to go and keep working. I hope this video was helpful. Guys, if you want to make more RJ Bates content, let me know. I'm going to try this script out when I do my PPL leads, and we'll see if it works. But from everything I've seen, it's amazing. So guys, before I jump off, I have to give a shout out to RJ. So I don't think he needs my shout outs, but it's the respectful thing to do. Guys, if you want, check out, I'll put all the links down in the description. You guys can go and get, all of his tools. He has a really crazy course you could sign up for, or you can just buy all of his tools right here. There's a ton of stuff in here. If you just want the King Closers Blueprint, I'll also put the description down below. You're going to have to enter your email and a few other things. Then you can get access to it. So with all that being said, guys, thank you all so much. Love you guys. I'm exhausted. Bye.